So it's only been a couple weeks since the election, and the Trump layoffs have already begun. Americans around the country are already losing their jobs because this country was stupid enough to re-elect Donald Trump. And a lot of the people who voted for Donald Trump are going to lose their jobs as a result. GM, General Motors, has just recently announced layoffs, or the first stage of what are sure to be more layoffs. They announced the layoff of 1,000 people. And a couple of the reasons they gave for these layoffs are because of Donald Trump. Two reasons they specifically cited were, one, the fact that Donald Trump intends to get rid of any and all tax incentives for purchasing electric vehicles. And so GM expects that purchases of their electric vehicles are going to plummet, cost them a lot of money. And that's one of the reasons why they felt the need to lay off people. The other, of course, are Trump's promised tariffs. You know, GM and a lot of other American companies don't just sell their products to Americans. They sell their products all around the world. China is one of GM's biggest markets. And so what's going to happen when Trump slaps these massive tariffs on everything? Well, other countries are going to slap massive tariffs on our exports. And so our companies here in America are going to suffer. They are going to lose sales. They are going to lose money. And they're going to have to lay off American workers. You know, we saw this with Donald Trump's tariffs in his first administration, especially with farmers. When Donald Trump slapped tariffs on China, China responded in kind. And of course, China is a huge market for American agricultural products. And so farmers lost a lot of market share. They lost money. And so what did Donald Trump do? Well, he didn't want to lose the votes of those people, so he bailed them out. We spent tens of billions of dollars giving that money to farmers to replace their income that was lost as a result of Donald Trump slapping those tariffs on. And of course, Americans who work in agriculture lost their jobs too. Now, those farmers, by and large, still voted for Donald Trump. And hell, why wouldn't they? Because in the end, since they got all those bailouts from the federal government, they didn't actually lose any money, and they didn't have to do as much work. They got the same amount of money for producing less, because Donald Trump, killed their market there in China. They produced less, but still made the same amount of money with our bailouts. That's MAGA socialism for you. But, while the companies, the big agricultural firms, didn't lose any money, and if there's bailouts in the future, they won't in the future. But what will happen is, even though they're making their money, those big ag firms are making their money because of the bailouts, they don't need all those workers because they're not producing as much anymore. So while the companies are going to continue to make money, the workers are going to be out of work. They're going to lose their jobs. And so, all these companies like GM laying off all these people, it's not just their income that they lose. Obviously, they're going to lose their benefits, including their health insurance. So, a lot of these morons who voted for Donald Trump are going to lose their jobs. They're going to lose their health insurance. And of course, since Donald Trump promised to eliminate Obamacare, which these people, morons, are just beginning to realize is the Affordable Care Act, because on the one hand, they like the Affordable Care Act. They just hate Obamacare. Too stupid to realize that they're one and the same. Anyway, since Donald Trump has promised to eliminate the Affordable Care Act, once they lose their jobs, they might be shit out of luck and have absolutely no health coverage for themselves and their families. So this is where we're heading. This is what MAGA has done to this country. And unfortunately, it is not just they who will suffer. People who did not vote for Donald Trump because they're not blithering idiots, and they did understand tariffs and everything else, those people, unfortunately, are going to suffer right along with the morons who did vote for Donald Trump. So, thanks. Good job, MAGA.